So I'm making this video because there's not a lot of documentation on this process, and you are in line. There's a couple old forums I could find on like the E46 forum, but they're both very separate. One person said this job's really easy, the other person said it's like the worst thing ever. Um, it's not bad. This job I really struggled with because I didn't know what I was doing. I found out it could have been a lot easier than it was. Because this job requires this like special tool from BMW that's like $600, and there's no way I'm paying for that. And I didn't know there was a replica on Amazon for like 80 bucks that I just returned afterwards and got all my money back. So it's basically free. And if I'd known that, it would have saved me so much time, and I probably would have gotten this done in one day rather than like 2 weeks. Just struggling to get the bushing out and then struggling even more to get it in, which is how I ended up stumbling across the Amazon tool. Anyway, I'll link it down below, but to start you have to take off these 4 bolts holding up the bracket. I also forgot to mention that you want to make sure that you support the transmission with a jack so that it doesn't like fall on you when you take these bolts out, as the transfer case bushing is the only mount for the transmission. Next, if you have an automatic transmission, you have to take the exhaust off. There's no way around it. If you have a manual transmission, you've got a lot more space to work with. The reason this was such a problem for me is because my car is so rusty that the exhaust flange bolts, or whatever they're called, were just so seized together that there was nothing I can do but snap them off.
Oh yeah, look at that.
I know this is out of order from how I did it as the exhaust is still there, but it'd be a lot easier to do this after the exhaust is out. You have to remove the main center bolt that connects the bracket to the bushing, and once that's done it should come right out.
Oh yeah, there it goes.
So this is where I really started to struggle. Originally I tried hitting with a screwdriver and hammer, but that got me nowhere. I decided my best option was to cut slits into the sides of the bushing to relieve the pressure. I'd seen this method done before, so I thought, why not try it? It definitely worked, but if I could go back and do it again, I would not have done it this way. I would have just went ahead and bought the tool from Amazon and taken it out that way, but at this time I didn't even know it existed. I'm gonna spare you from all the stress and frustration of putting this bushing in. It was a nightmare. I tried to create my own tool since I didn't know the Amazon one existed, and that didn't work at all. I tried like freezing the bushing, which I still did anyway, and then I tried heating up the aluminum area that the bushing gets pressed into, and nothing was working. And at this time, Christmas was just in a couple days, so I decided to give up and just come back to it. Alright, it's been a few days. I bought something on Amazon while I was doing a little bit more research. I found a replica tool of the one that's like $500 something, and I've already kind of test fitted it and it's gonna work. I know I already said this, but I really wish I found this tool earlier on. It would have made my life so much easier. Again, the link is in the description. Alright, I managed to find a little stand, so you're not really laying on the floor anymore. You get a better angle at what I'm doing. I think this thing... Yeah, no, the specially made tool still didn't fit quite right. That piece that's meant for the job, it doesn't quite clear the oil pan there. So, I'll show you what I did. That's what I'm using, just regular silicone lubricant. Doesn't matter the brand, I don't think. Probably grease would be better, but this works. When you put the bushing in, make sure it's lined up right and it's not going in crooked or at a weird angle or anything.
Or maybe without this heavy weight on it too. Alright, just get that thing in. Honestly, I'm just gonna give it a few little taps.
What I ended up doing was grabbing the front piece for a different type of bushing and flipping it around to clear the oil pan.
I wish I did this from the start. All that stress, frustration. I'm just gonna do it until it's snug. Yeah, that's about good.
I lost the footage of me putting the first bolt back in, but you get the idea. It's just putting things back together the way it came apart.
Alright, we got that one in. Now you gotta get that one in.
Now the final thing left to do is to put that last nut on, hear the open headers, and then put the exhaust back on. Originally this was going to be a video of transfer case mount and engine mounts, but I decided I'd leave that footage out as there's a lot more better in-depth videos out there that I'll put in my description for you to watch. I really hope this video helped out at least one person. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'm not expecting this to get very many views at all, so I'll definitely see your comment. And now, here's why my neighbors